Hey there, and welcome to the Mandatory. I can't speak English today. The
Start
mandatory,
over. No, we do
the
this live.
mandatory, the mandatory. Yeah, we're doing it live. Mandatory social interaction show. I can't speak English today,
Oh
but
yeah.
welcome. My name is Tim. I go by Insert Coin Theater on Twitch, and my lovely co-host is joining me, Mr. Ben Burns.
Hi everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back to this mandatory social interaction show.
The social interaction hour with Ben and
Plow.
Tim. Bow,
Yep.
bow, bow.
Yep. We're
I
now
don't know.
comedy hour. We're done with it. We're done with this serious stuff.
We're just gonna have we're gonna get a soundboard and play random wacky sound effects.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm I think we're both a little bit on the more delirious side right now, so
Yeah.
the largest amount of apologies I can muster if we meander a bit in this episode and next, because yeah, it's been a long week for the both of us, I think.
Yeah. It's been a good week and it's been pretty productive, but my past 2 weekends have been wedding related. So
Oh
like
boy.
I
That sounds
haven't
exciting.
had a whole lot of time to just kind of sit down and chill. I don't really know where I'm going. I know I was
I was
exploring
following
down there.
you. I actually need to grab more food, so I'm gonna do that first.
Oh yeah, I don't have any food. Oh, that's what I was doing. I remember what I was doing. I was building a fence, so I'm gonna go build a fence.
Oh, okay. All right, Donald.
Wah, wah.
Oh, shut you in.
Yeah,
How you been? How's your week going? I know it's been busy.
yeah. It's been all right overall. I'm pretty pleased with it. It's like we said. It's just been. There's an Enderman on top of our house.
Don't look him in the eyes.
Yeah, that kind of scared me. Um, it's like it's one of those weeks where everything happened and nothing got done. So
Yeah,
I feel like I could have done better this week, but I'm glad that I have Friday to kind of just chill out.
that is good. Good thing. I'm
How about
sorry.
How
I'm
about you?
sorry you've been kind of stretched thin this week.
Ugh.
My week's been pretty good. I got back from vacation. I went to MetroCon in Tampa this past weekend.
Oh
And
yeah.
we had a couple episodes come out while I was there, so a lot of the episode is me talking about going, and now
Mm-hmm.
I'm back. I'm here. So, hey, that Enderman's downstairs with me now. Don't
That's
look him in the eye.
not supposed to happen.
Nope, he teleported down here, and he picked up a block from the wall.
Well,
Helpful.
yeah.
But yeah,
How did
so
the con go?
it was fun. It was a really good time. It was nice to get away for a little bit. I mean, cons come with their own stresses. I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah.
just a lot going on. There's a lot of people, so claustrophobia is a deal. It's a thing, and I get very claustrophobic. There's just a lot going on, and there's just a lot of noise, and if you get overloaded really easily from like sensory overload,
Mm-hmm.
it's it can be tough. But overall, I had a good time. I enjoyed it, so I can't really complain. I did a couple of panels while it was there, which was pretty sweet. That was a lot of fun. I wish I could have recorded them, but I didn't really have the equipment to. Like, I don't have like a real camera yet. One of my goals is to get a nice camera, like a DSLR or something, for streaming,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd be able to take that to things I do, like conventions and things like that, and take photos. And so that's, I said things and stuff like 80 times in that
Oh,
sentence.
whatever.
I regret that.
Nah, it don't
I'm
matter.
so articulate today. Like my English center is not working properly. So
Well, yeah, and I had that problem on Wednesday during my stream where I couldn't even form a sentence. Like I was just sitting there trying to write music, and I was just like bleh, blah, 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 and yeah, like the first hour is just me drooling on myself. So
yeah,
I know how it
that's
goes.
yeah. It's an unfortunate thing. I'll say that much. I hate it when that happens, but how do words good, right?
Yeah. So it'll get better. It's just one of those things where you just gotta power through it sometimes, or just go take a nap.
Yeah, and I took a nap today. I had a half day because I got to work tomorrow.
Mm.
So I got home and I meant to take like an hour nap.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it turned into like 4 hours.
Yeah, that's usually how it
Um,
goes.
yeah, it's because I'm really sensitive to weather shifts. Like
Oh yeah.
when because here in Florida, when a storm rolls through, it rolls through fast, and then it's
Mm.
done fast. But the problem is I'm really sensitive to the barometric pressure when it drops, and it makes me tired. And if I'm not equipped or prepared for it, like I don't have a Red Bull handy, I will just like go lay down and pass out. Happened to me last night on stream actually. It hit about 8:30, and I was playing some Battleborn because I figured I'd dust that off.
Yeah.
And it hit about 8:30. Oops, that was bad. And I hit a wall. Like it was like it felt like I had been run over by a truck, like just out of nowhere. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna pass out. And so I was like, I'm gonna go lay down and take a nap. And if I get back on, I get back on, but probably not.
Yeah.
I'll be back on tomorrow. And I went and laid down and I passed out for about 2 hours. So it was one of those things where I couldn't get back to sleep. So work today was a drag, but a storm rolled through while I was napping. And I mean, that's usually how it goes. I hate it. It's like the worst thing ever because Florida is just so prone to those weather shifts.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult sometimes to deal with when you live in Florida. But it happens, and I'm aware of it. I don't really like it that much. Are we gonna have animals?
Yeah, I had 2 chickens in there, but they somehow got out while I wasn't looking. So
Escaped.
it's
Something.
hermetically sealed now, but unfortunately it wasn't when the chickens were in there. So I'm just gonna try to get some eggs and get that going.
I think we have some eggs.
We have
in the
2
chests
eggs.
In there. Oh, we only have 2.
Yeah,
Boo.
it's fine.
Maybe I'll get lucky.
Yep.
Yeah, so the panels were good. I did a panel on podcasting, which I guess this is about as close to a podcast as I have right now that I'm a part of. This is a podcast, I guess, right?
I would say so. I mean, it's I don't know what you would call a video version of a podcast.
Well, there's still podcasts because Rooster Teeth does the video podcasts.
But there's
still a podcast.
blogs and vlogs and
So I don't know if it's called a vodcast, maybe.
Vodcast. I don't like that.
I don't like that either. That's pretty gross. It's a gross term. Let's not use that. Let's pretend that term doesn't exist. But I love doing podcasts, and it's a real passion of mine. I also love to teach people stuff. Like, I like to share what knowledge I've gained. I like to learn, and I like to share that knowledge. So pretty much what I did was I talked about like the basics of podcasting, like the equipment you need, and kind of like forming an idea, and the best, from what I found in my research at least. I mean, because it's all kind of subjective, because different stuff works for different people, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you can't just blanket apply rules to how something works and expect it to work for everybody. It's just not feasible. But from my experience and from my research, I tried to put together the best presentation I could. I talked a lot about like forming an idea, the best way to do your podcast, like make a schedule and all that stuff, and stick to it, and plan ahead, come up with ideas for future shows, which we do on this show, and what I used to do on the ICT podcast when that was running. So it's pretty important stuff, and I just went through basics, like you need microphones that don't suck, and I was like, you can do it over Skype, but use good microphones. I mean, even if you use a Blue Snowball, the quality on those is a billion times better than a headset mic. Yeah. So it comes down to it came down to a lot of just like equipment and stuff like that. Unfortunately, there were only like 5 or 6 people there that came to that one, that weren't like people that I know. Yeah. My sister-in-law came, and that was really cool because she's looking to start her own YouTube channel. Nice. And she wants to do, because she's a huge nerd too, and she's pretty awesome. Like she's like super cute stuff. I mean, she's like my wife in that regard. She's pretty great, and she wants to start her own YouTube channel, and I think she's just trying to get as much knowledge as she can before she takes the plunge, which I think is like the best way to do it. Yeah. So
I found out how to make chickens follow me.
Yeah, you pull out some seeds, right?
Yeah.
I got a couple of eggs. I'm gonna see if I get lucky.
Speaking of lucky eggs, I hear Pokemon's a thing.
Yeah, Pokemon's a thing. We can talk about that in a few minutes.
Oh yeah, you need to finish your other panel first.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I want to go. No, it's all good. I just want to go over that because that was the big one. That was really cool. I got the chance to. I did another panel on Saturday about Twitch, and it was pretty much the same. I mean, Twitch and podcasting are not that different.
No, not really.
They really, truly aren't. I mean, the only real difference is that with Twitch, you have to have some kind of video. You do, and it has to be game related, right?
Doesn't have to be.
Well, not anymore. I mean, with social eating and that. But I mean, overall, Twitch is still kind of a gaming platform, right? So, because even their talk show thing is still gaming talk shows. It's not just talk shows yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, it's like a chicken army over here.
Yep, they made a baby, and now they're going to come and live with us.
They were ignoring you.
Hey, get back here.
I'm going to see if I can draw them. Come on, come on, chickens.
You distracted them, and now they're aimless.
Chickens, look at me. Chicken ducks. Quack, quack.
Yeah, they do kind of look like ducks, too.
Yeah, they do. There you go. All right. But that was pretty cool because there was more like a dozen people there.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty awesome. So it was a really good turnout, and I connected with a streamer there who's slightly bigger than me, about 300 more followers than me, which was awesome. And he came by and was like,
there's still one out there. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I got it in here. But he was like, yeah, I'm just trying to brush up on my, kind of to see if I'm on the same track as you are in terms of Twitch, because I don't really follow, the evolving, the way people do things on average, which was cool because that made me feel really good because I got a chance to really spread my knowledge in that regard. And I love that. I love that feeling. And it was cool to meet another streamer because we exchanged business cards and talked.
Business cards.
Yeah, we're fancy. I have business cards because I mean when I started doing ICT, I as the podcast, I had some business cards made up before I even started really getting into live streaming. And now live streaming is the main thing for ICT, which is kind of interesting.
That's okay.
So I love it though. I mean I cannot complain. But yeah, so it was cool. I made a connection. The person I met is named Jack Hills. Apparently a pioneer in feet gaming.
Oh, does he do like speed running?
No, he does games with his feet.
Okay,
I thought games with his feet. So.
I know Summer Games Done Quick was done like a couple weeks ago, and I think there was a speedrunner that did like speed runs with his feet.
That's cool.
Yeah, like it was a cool message that he brought too, where it's just like this stuff is totally possible if you're willing to commit yourself to it. It's like anybody can do anything if they have the drive to do it.
Right.
But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I haven't seen any of his streams because he streams at like 3 when I'm in the middle of work, so I don't really get a chance to watch. And the feet gaming thing lasts only like an hour and a half. But I mean, more power to him for
seriously
for the whole thing. I mean, because it's such a cool idea, doing something unique like that. I love that idea. I mean, that's awesome. So, shout out to Jack Hills. It's JAKILZ for those interested in checking it out.
Nice.
To drop a little plug.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check it out too.
Yeah, it was cool though. It was cool to meet some folks, and I had some really good questions about. About streaming and just the general like flow of things. And then actually, one of the people asked me about a podcast, and I was like, "Oh, you missed my podcast panel yesterday. Like you should have come to that because I talked about all that." But it was really cool to meet some folks who are interested in streaming or starting streaming or have been established even.
Yeah.
So definitely a good experience. I probably next year. If I go to Metro, because there might be something else conflicting with that in terms of vacation. We haven't really solidified it, so I don't really want to go into it. But if we do go to Metro next year, I think I'll just do Twitch panels. I'll do like a Twitch 101 and a Twitch 102 type thing. Yeah. And do like more advanced concepts and stuff like that, rather than doing a podcasting panel. Because the podcasting thing, there's a lot of resources out there, but Twitch streaming, there's just so many myriad ways to do it and to execute it, and so it's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, I think people are more interested in it mainly because it's a hot topic right now. So
well, even on the description for the Twitch streaming, you can also be like, if you're interested in podcasting, this is a lot of overlapping concepts as well.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. Whoa, Easy slugger. Ugh. Almost got killed by a... He tried to snipe me off the ledge.
Oh, I'm exploring again. And
I'm down in our cavern thing that we discovered. The big, like, roofed cavern downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of these days we'll find bones.
Yes. I think we're too deep, though, when you're in the cavern, and that's why I've been doing, like, because apparently it's got, like, a certain percentage amount to appear.
Oh, gotcha.
On certain levels under a desert biome. So that's kind of what we got to do is, like, within that certain level. So Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is a thing. It's pretty great. It's a pretty great thing. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I started playing it. I know 2 weeks ago we talked about it and I hadn't played it yet, and then I drank the Kool-Aid with everybody else, and it is fun. it's a lot of fun, and I found like a live map or something on a website so I can see where there are concentrations of stops, because next to my house there's like nothing. It's kind of disappointing. So
right. And because I kind of live in suburbia a little bit.
Oh yeah.
There's no stops around me either. We have to go downtown really to get any stops.
Yeah, but it's been fun. Like yesterday, maybe it was 2 days ago, but yesterday we had to go to like FedEx Kinko's and get stuff printed. And like I looked it up beforehand, and it's like, okay, if we walk 10 minutes in this direction, we'll run into a park, and that park will have like 10, 15 Pokestops, and it was cool to just like have that little bit of discovery to just be like, hey, we can walk in this direction and there's cool stuff over here, and Pokemons are kind of ancillary compared to just spending time together and stuff, but it's still cool to be able to do that and just have it.
It's something to do. It's a reason to get out and spend time with people. And just do something, like, because sometimes you're just like, there's nothing I really want to do, but now there's a reason. Just, I want to go catch Pokemon or hit a Pokestop. I need some Pokeballs, that sort of thing. So it's a nice little thing. I mean, I've heard all the counter arguments, and I think some of them are valid. I mean, there's a lot of, it's lacking in features, and it's missing a lot of things, and I agree 100%. Like, it is lacking a lot. I mean, there's over 700 Pokemon now, and they don't even have the first 150 in the game yet, which is
I thought they had the original ones
in there. They
have
through 147, I think, or 146, because they don't have Articuno, Moltres, or Zapdos. They don't have Mewtwo or Mew, which are the legendaries. So
I'm sure they'll have like big social events or something where you can
catch the legendaries. That was what I was thinking. Yeah. Or a promotional event. Like they apparently are going to have a promotional event with McDonald's to make every McDonald's a gym or a Pokestop or something like that.
Oh boy, here it goes.
Yeah, and that was one of my gripes, is like, I think it's a cool idea that they're going to monetize that way, but also they're making so much freaking money off of it. It's like, it's getting to a point where that's a little money grubbing to me. Considering they made millions of dollars, they made over $100 million in the first weekend or something like that when it came out.
Yeah, I know a couple people who probably contributed about half of that.
Yeah, and I'll admit I put a little money into it, because when I'm at work or when I'm at home, I can't really always get up and go about. So having lures or incense is really helpful to pull them in to me, rather than having to go out, because when I stream I really can't. I'll just leave it open until it vibrates, So
yeah,
it's one of those things where I mean, I can see the value in purchasing the Pokecoins or whatever, because they're, you could go down to my downtown and you could get 150 Pokeballs in like 30 minutes if you're driving around. There's a lot of Pokestops downtown, so it's like I don't necessarily need to purchase any of that stuff, but it's convenient.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I with that map that I was looking at, I saw our state fair. Our state fairgrounds is just lousy with Pokestops. Like there's 3 every block or 4 or 5 every block.
That's awesome.
And it's like on my way home, so it's like one of those things where I kind of want to just take a stop and take a half-hour walk every day after work. But then I have to deal with traffic and all that other stuff. But
Right.
it's cool that it's there, and I think my wife and I are actually going to go down there tomorrow and just kind of hang out and just see if I'm sure there's going to be other people going around, probably in their cars like slackers, but
Yeah, there's it's pretty cool that it because I've seen a lot more activity at the at our local park, which is really cool because I mean our park was, I mean, you'd have the families with their kids that went to the playground for a little while and stuff. Like, I have never seen so many freaking teenagers at a park before in my life.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I mean, it was so cool to see the park that full. I'm like, well, I actually feel like my tax dollars are going to something useful now because people are getting out, they're socializing rather than doing it over the internet. They're spending FaceTime with people, which is something that doesn't happen super often. And I know I sound like an old man when I say that, but it's true.
A little bit.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, I'll be the first to admit it that I sound like a little like an old geezer. But I mean, when it comes to social interaction, I mean, there's nothing quite like a face-to-face conversation. I mean, it's a very different experience, and even if you're just like cruising around with people in person, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Compared to texting someone or any of that stuff. Wow, an underground reservoir. I found water.
You do sound like an old man.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, but I completely agree. Like, it's so easy to just not do that stuff, and the fact that you can get out and you can do that, like you can just go and explore and see new things. Like, there was an art installation where my wife and I walked yesterday. And it's like it had all these like musical instruments and stuff. So now I kind of want to go back there, not because there's like 3 Pokestops right next to each other, but I want to bring my recorder and I want to just like bang on that stuff and record all of it because then I can use it for music. And it's like I wouldn't have found that stuff otherwise. Like it's super emergent in that way.
Yes, and that's part of where I look at it is because here in Sarasota, where I live, we are a very big art community. We have the Ringling School of Art and Design down here, which is like a really prestigious like art academy.
It has to be if it's prestigious instead of prestigious.
Hey, prestigious is the way the Brits would tell me to pronounce it. So, look, all right, they've corrupted me. They've ruined me for certain words. I can't help myself.
It's fine.
But we have a ton of art, and I mean, I know a lot of cities do. I'm not saying we're exclusive in that regard, but like we just have a ton of artworks everywhere in this city, and it's cool because most of that artwork is like a stop. Yeah, it's incredible to me that it's just like they somehow managed to tag so many pieces of art as Pokestops using Google APIs and Google image results and photos and stuff.
Not just that. I mean, Niantic, or however you pronounce their name, they've been around for a long time. Pokemon's their 3rd game.
Yeah, Ingress was their biggest one.
Ingress probably
and Pokemon's based off of that, right?
Well, yeah, it's based off the same framework. I mean, it's the same game, except now you catch Pokemon instead of cyber hack facilities or whatever.
Right.
But it's like all of that data was already there. they just changed the name from attack facility to Pokestop, and then But
it gives you items instead of like being a competitive PvP thing, whereas the gyms kind of fulfill that gap.
Yeah, so all the data was already there. They just translated it. But it is cool that they have so much data. Like, there is a lot there, even though one of the Pokestops was like the trash cans at the park, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, it gets a little weird sometimes. Like the Holocaust Museum was one, and the Holocaust Museum was like, please don't come here to catch Pokemon. It's a respect thing.
Yeah.
Gonna go get the drinks. Can you get me 2 of the 2 of those tea things? Yeah, a raspberry tea and a
Razzmatazz.
Strawberry tea. Sorry. And a regular half and half. Thanks, love. See you in a bit. And also apparently the Hiroshima Museum in Japan was one, and they were like, this is supposed to be a place of respect. You should probably not have that be a Pokestop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like I understand to an extent, like having a museum makes sense, like a regular like a science or history museum, but like having like a memorial museum is not a good idea. But
No.
and there's going to be glitches because like apparently a guy had his house which was once a church marked as a Pokestop because it used to be a church because most churches are Pokestops or gyms.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy was freaking out because people were like in front of his house like catching Pokemon or whatever, or using it as a Pokestop, and he was like losing his mind, and it's like, dude, just calm down, like it's not that big a deal.
I've seen those pictures where it's just like, get off my lawn. This Pokestop is my house.
Yeah, and it's like, well, if you don't like that, there's a form to fill out, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not that big of a deal. It's not going to hurt anything if your house is a Pokestop. Because what I don't understand, and let me go ahead and put this out there, is all these people getting injured over Pokemon Go. Like, how you go and do that? The range for you to catch a Pokemon is massive. Like, it's like 300 feet or something ridiculous. It's just this massive radius, and people are like doing stupid things and like falling down cliffs and like dude, it's an AR game. You use your camera, you can literally see in front of you when you try to catch a Pokemon. Like, how do you not see a cliff? Like,
not if you're hardcore. You turn that shit off because AR slows it down.
I don't care. I'm not hardcore then. I'm
casual. Well, it also crazy crashes Android phones.
I haven't had that issue, but I have a Galaxy S7 though, so I'm pretty lucky in that regard. I have like, you have an S5, right?
I just got an S5, yes, because my Nexus 5.
My Red Bull.
My Nexus 5 was having some interesting issues that prohibited me from doing that stuff. I think that, yeah, that's our house over there. I just dug randomly and I popped up over here, so I'm just trying to get my bearings. But yeah, I had, like, they gave me a replacement. It was a Samsung Galaxy S5 or whatever it's called, and
couple of gens behind, man.
Well, it was a free upgrade, so what are you gonna do?
Oh, well, there you go.
That
but would do it.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay, but it's like, I don't know. It's a phone, but as long as it plays Pokemon, I guess that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I look at it. Is I really like my phone. I got the S7, which is a great device. I've had very few issues with it, to be honest, and really enjoy it so far. Very reliable phone, very fast. Holy crap, it's fast.
Yeah, I wonder if mine will be that fast. Probably not.
Probably not.
Which is fine.
But Pokemon Go, I think overall is a great idea. It needs a lot of work. Like, gyms are so pointless to me. Like, if you get on the gym, you get like 10 Pokecoins, and pretty much just like that's like a pat on the back. It's like, good job, you got a gym, and there's no real reward for it, in my opinion. Like, you get some experience and stuff like that, but it's like you can't even use a gym as a Pokestop, which makes no sense to me because sometimes there's only a gym at certain places, and it's like
that one confused me for a while.
Yeah, there's so many things you could do. Like if your team controls the gym, you can use it as a Pokestop, and you get bonuses because your team controls it. But if your team doesn't control it, you get like fewer than normal or something like that. Like, I just don't get like where the thought process was for setting that up, because sometimes there's just gyms in the middle of nowhere where there's no Pokestops. And it's like, all right, like that makes no sense. Like, I don't understand why that is, but you know, I don't know. I don't pretend to understand what Niantic's doing, but
who knows if they know what they're doing either.
True. I mean, they could have just skinned Ingress for all I know. I never played Ingress.
They pretty much skinned Ingress. I didn't play Ingress, but my wife did for a brief period of time, and she says that it's basically the same game.
Gotcha.
Except now there's like the random encounters with the Pokemon. That's like the main difference.
Right. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Though I despise that it does not work while your phone's asleep. What the hell is that? Like I can understand wanting to save battery and stuff, but like Google Maps still works when you put your phone to sleep. Why the hell doesn't go?
Does it? Does it work though? Like, does your GPS stay on even though the phone's asleep?
Yeah, you can put, because it just puts the display to sleep.
And
okay. Keeps it running in the background. But yeah, Google Maps, because it'll still navigate you if you're like, you can listen to like Pandora. Or
yeah.
It works the same exact way. So why can't Pokemon Go do that? Like, what? Where's the hiccup? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is oh jeez, I forgot to get food. Shoot. But like that's my biggest gripe is like, you kill your battery just
Yeah.
by virtue of opening the game. It's like, can I just open it and leave it open and have it vibrate when a Pokemon's nearby? Like, if I'm at work, I'm not supposed to, be playing around on it unless it's my break. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I don't want to do that while I'm working. So it's like,
But you
have
have
it
to because it's Pokemon.
right. So have it vibrate. Like, it would be so much more engrossing if they would just do that. If they would just make it so that it works in the background, and like if you because the battery consumption would be a lot lower, and if you could just
Hmm.
say stop working, while I'm running, it wouldn't kill your battery entirely, or just close the app or whatever.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they really missed the mark on a couple of things with it, and I totally wish they would rethink some of that.
I'm sure
It's,
that they'll reconsider it or update some things and
Well, here's the thing. I think they're trying to. They're doing it that way because they're wanting to sell the Pokemon Go Plus wristbands or
yep.
whatever that they're going to
Yep.
sell.
I was gonna
And
mention
I
those.
think that's the whole shtick. I think because that's supposed to work when your phone's asleep and vibrate and let you know there's Pokemon nearby or whatever. Which I want one anyways because I think they're cool. I mean, they've got a little Pokeball on them and stuff, but. Um, I don't know. I think it's kind of I think it's a little lame that they're using it to pretty much just push a peripheral. I wish
Yeah.
they would just do it right the first time rather than
Yeah,
because
we'll
it's not like
see.
Ingress. It's if it were Ingress, then I could understand where there's no random encounters. You just you go to certain areas and then you engage in whatever MMO kind of battle thingy they do. But with Pokemon Go, Pokemon catching is the biggest part of the experience.
Hmm.
So why in the world would you restrict that in any way? Like I don't understand that at all. That seems like a foolish decision in my book. But
Yeah.
I'm not Niantic. I can't really speak for them. So.
No, neither am I.
uh, but yeah,
I'm
Pokemon Go is fun. I'm a fan. Oh god, that's an angry spider.
Yeah, I'm a fan too. Not just mostly because it helps me get out and just walk around more and discover things around the area where I live.
Right.
Just I haven't really done that before, which is weird because I've lived in the same place for 10 years.
Well, interestingly, one of my friends, you've met him, Nathan.
Uh-huh.
He's a very opinionated sort, which is fine. He's got a lot of opinions, and in his opinion, he says if people want to get out, they'll get out. They don't need an excuse like Pokemon Go.
I don't agree with that.
And I don't agree with that either because he says that they're lazy, which I wholeheartedly disagree with in that regard. Mainly because when you look at Pokemon Go, it's an encouragement for you to get out that sometimes doesn't exist. I mean, because I'm not fat. I'm a little like I'm like I'm not even I don't even think I'm that overweight. I think I'm like at the upper echelon of my weight class, like for my body type.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I gain any more weight, I'm in bad shape. I guess I would be considered overweight at that point. But like I think it's a great thing because it gets me out and exercising because as a gamer, I have zero interest in going out and exercising. I really
Mm-hmm.
truly do. Like I just if I can avoid physical activity, I will. That's just what I do. I mean, that's kind of how it is for me. And I think a lot of gamers are like that. I really
Yeah.
do. And I think that anything that encourages you to get out and stretch your legs and move around is a good thing.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
I'm
And
not.
I'm in the same boat where I feel that yeah, I do like going out and exercising, but I have no motivation to do it.
Yes.
And being able
with
to
you.
just be like, oh, I'll just get some imaginary points while I do this, like that's all you
Right.
need. And it's
Yes.
just the basic gamification of exercise.
Yes.
And they just
And
had to get the right wrapper around it for people to pay attention because I know that stuff's existed before. I've used like the
Right.
fitness apps.
Well, and look at the Connect and the Wii Sports and
Yeah.
all that stuff. That stuff has been the gamification of fitness for a while, and yeah, I agree 100% with you. I mean, I was the same way. Like I personally just I love working out because it makes you feel good and all that stuff. But what's the point of putting yourself through all this exercise when there's stories to be had and games to be played? And that's kind of the way I look at it. And I mean, some people may call that lazy. That's fine, but I would disagree that it makes me lazy. My preference is to absorb media in the way I absorb media, much like some people sit and drink beer and watch sports every day. So,
Yep.
I mean, it just boils down to the way that things are done, in your preference and in your own way, and that's kind of where I stand. My preference is by far, um, uh, hitting up
lazy.
the game if I can. Being lazy, yeah. And if I can hit up the game and get some exercise while I do it, I'm all about that. That is great for me. So,
The skeleton has gold armor.
it happens. Sometimes they'll drop said gold armor.
Oh yeah,
Rarely,
because it's
but-
so useful.
It's just so shiny, though. You look like a pimp.
There's a lot of skeletons out here. I am gonna go inside.
So anything exciting happening for you this weekend?
Well, I'm doing my 2-hour, or not my 2-hour track. I'm doing my Ben Gets Stuff Done stream, which is actually something new that I started. Where
I noticed that.
I'm trying to do it every weekend now, just because I think it's kind of fun. It allows me to sit down and just work without having the distraction of being like, oh, let's just go on Facebook for 3 hours, or more likely Netflix. But it's been a lot of fun to just sit down and work on things, and it's not necessarily music. Like last week, I did a lot of I did some video work and I did some other stuff. So yeah, I'm doing that on Saturday, and then on Sunday I'm gonna have the Pokemon date with my wife and go out to the state fairgrounds and see what that's all about.
Nice.
And then we'll probably just we'll probably go to dinner somewhere and go to Kinko's again and get some more buttons printed, because we are working on creating buttons for the state fair this year, and there's a lot of buttons to do. There's a lot of skeletons.
So
Shoot
how's
your
the
friend.
button thing going?
It's going well. It's going really well. I like it a lot. We sell a decent amount at the store, and the store where my wife works. We sell a decent amount there, but it's just one of those things where you get to make some cool things, and then it's a good gift to give to your friend and everything else.
Right.
So yeah, those are going well.
Good.
One of the things that I'm going to do this weekend or tomorrow on stream is I'm probably going to make Pokemon buttons, because there's a lot of friends asking for Pokemon buttons.
Nice.
And yeah, so
That's
I'm gonna
cool.
do I go to the gym and
Well, plug
Yeah.
time. Do you guys have like an online store for it or anything like that?
yeah, we have something that I just set up. Well, there's been a store up for a while, but I just redirected it from bentine.net. It's bentine.net, and because she's Christine and I'm Ben, and yeah, so that's where
Sounds
you
like a
can
gum.
go. A what now?
Sounds like a gum.
Yeah, I know. There's Dentine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep. I know at our wedding, my wife wanted to have Bentinis and a bunch of other stuff that was really
Awesome.
dorky.
Dorky's the best, man.
Yeah. So are you supposed to pick up eggs or just leave them on the ground and let them hatch?
No, you pick them up and throw them, and they either
Okay.
break into a chicken or they just break. Sometimes they'll break into 2 chickens. Sometimes they'll break into 3. They go up to 4, I think, come out of 1
Jeez.
egg sometimes.
I don't know if I've ever been that lucky.
I've been that lucky a couple times.
Well, we have a little bit more chickens in here now,
Excellent.
so we won't run out of food anytime soon.
That's good. We'll just have to keep collecting eggs and hatching them.
Yep.
Wish you could, like, cook the eggs in this game and make, like, omelets or something.
Yeah, you
as
can use them
food.
to make cake, can't you?
Yes, they're used in cake with, like, sugar and I think cocoa beans or something like
Oh,
that.
that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And that's part of the issue is, like, if you could just take the eggs and make them into, like, a low-yield, like, omelet or something that gives you, like, 1.5 food things, that'd be cool. But, you know, I don't think I ever really thought that far ahead.
Well, you can always add it. I mean, it's just an entity
Yeah,
that...
it's all moddable.
But that's a lot of work, and I don't care.
Yes, I'm way too lazy to do that, especially considering now I only play this game when I'm making this show. So,
Pretty much, yeah.
but I mean, I'm okay with it because I mean, I love this show. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So,
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, we've talked about this before, where it's just like a chance to just chill out and not worry as much about production quality or what you say or if you stutter.
right.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Um,
It's a nice thing. It really truly is, and
yeah,
I really dig it. And it's a great way to end the week. Like it's so freaking good to end the week like that. Because
yeah, I agree.
I have so much trouble sometimes during the week. It's just like, man, I don't want to even like I don't even want to function right now. But this show's a good way to kind of get that out of the way. You know.
Yep, exactly. And I feel the same way where even though I'm tired today, that doesn't really stop me from, being like, oh, I don't want to do the show because, the show is still fun and it's low impact and it's not difficult to do. And yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice to just talk and catch up and
Yep.
just
Oh, well,
make a day out of it or whatever.
that leads right into lava. I can't go that way.
Geronimo.
I'm in the nether. I'd definitely never get my stuff back. I was just exploring over here. The portal we have is pretty crappy. I might make another portal somewhere else.
I found a ravine out in the open, and
Yeah.
I jumped down into it right now. So
Oh boy.
yeah, I'm actually pretty okay with it. It's so far yielded quite a bit of iron.
Oh, that's cool.
So I kind of strayed really far away from the desert biome, so there was literally zero chance of me getting my hands on fossils at that point. But whatevs.
It don't matter.
But break another pickaxe, I think I have one left. So
Well, there should be
awesome.
diamonds if you wanted to make a diamond pickaxe.
Yeah, I just don't want to really waste the diamonds until I really like. If I find the fossil is when I'll make the diamond pickaxe and go nuts. I want to get to a higher level so I can enchant it as well. Because if you can get like
right.
Unbreakable on it or something like that, oh man, Unbreakable is awesome because it makes it last forever.
Yeah, I should. We should work on building one of those books.
Yeah,
the
so make a
libraries.
library and put the enchanting table in the middle and all that. Yeah, I agree.
I can carve out a room for that, I guess.
How much? How many pieces of paper do we have?
Do we have any? I don't even know.
How much sugarcane do we have?
Oh, we have quite a bit.
Yeah, so we can make a lot of pages out of that. I think it's three pieces of sugarcane per page, and it's 3 pages per book. I think, and then you gotta have leather as well. So we're gonna have to find cows.
Can we lure cows back here too?
Yeah, they're with hay though, so we're gonna have to grow some hay
Gotcha.
or wheat. Sorry. Wheat.
Oh, we have plenty of wheat.
Yeah. Hay is for horses, I think.
Womp womp. So I was talking about Netflix.
Yes.
And I started watching yesterday. I started watching Stranger Things. And
I've heard of that in passing, but I know literally nothing about it. I don't have Netflix. I'm one of those heathens. I literally just
you
straight
watch
up,
TV.
I just torrent everything though. Like I've been watching NCIS and stuff like that because that's a great show. Actually, it's a lot of fun, and I really like the characters. And it's been going on friggin' forever. So
Yeah, you won't run out of content anytime soon.
well, we actually have watched. We're on the 15th season right now. I
Oh.
think it is. And yeah, we're like actually almost caught up, which is crazy to me because that's a lot of freaking content. But I didn't watch most of it. The wife did because she watches it while she works on stuff. She's like
crap.
that typical artist thing where they put something on in the background and create.
Yep.
Which is great. I think that's such a great thing. It's good for content creators like us because I think that we're the kind of content that I would listen to if I were working on something like that. So
Yeah,
in
and
the background.
Narcissist Ben does listen to these sometimes at work.
There you go.
Yeah, because I'm full of myself. So what Stranger Things is, it's kind of hard to describe. Like it is a bit of a sci-fi. It's a little bit of a horror. There's a lot of different things going for it, and I'm not one for like super horror stuff or gore or anything like that. But there's no gore. There's a lot of thriller. There's a lot of like suspenseful moments. Some jump scares which I can take or leave. But for the most part, I've really enjoyed it so far. I've only watched 2 episodes, but
So what is it about? Are there main characters, or is it like an episodic kind of thing, kind of like Grimm's Fairy Tales or something like that? Or
there are main characters. There we go. I'm not entirely sure if they're gonna stay alive forever or what. Like it seems like it. But for the most part, it's still establishing a lot of the characters too. So I don't really know everything. But like a boy's gone missing due to like various paranormal paranormal activity, and there's this girl that has like various powers, and like there's a lot of different things going on in the show, and I'm not sure how many of those stick around or if it's more episodic. Like I said, I've only seen 2 episodes, but
Right.
it's been good so far. I've enjoyed it, despite not being able to handle spooky, scary stuff as much because I don't know. I was just raised that way, I guess.
I'm not a big fan of the spooky myself, so I know that feel.
But like the sound design in the show is really, really good. Like it definitely gets you, and I think that's important. Like something that's not always looked at very often is just how well designed the sound is for the shows, or for the TV shows especially,
Right.
where things like actually have weight to them, and otherworldly sounds, like sometimes to scare the audience and sometimes just to get people's attention. So it's good. I highly recommend it if you're able to find it somewhere.
Yeah, I'll see if I can take a look at it. I mean, a big part of what Kayla and Reki and I are very picky when it
Yeah.
comes to our content that we watch. Like we love like procedurals.
Mhm.
Like I don't mind. Like I really enjoyed Law and Order SVU right up until it started like flying off the rails and started blaming gamers for things and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun episode. I think I saw some of that.
That episode should like. I know the episode was targeted at like Gamergate and all that stuff, but they ended up making all gamers sound like entitled douchebags, which was awful and a terrible thing because it minimizes the impact on not only content creation, but on media as a whole. I mean, gaming is a huge deal, and to boil it down to, well, gamers are nothing but a bunch of white boy entitled people. Well, excuse me, but 50% of gamers are female.
Yeah.
So I don't like. Yeah, you can say white people, white dudes, the white guys. Are the ones that are propagating all these issues and blah 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 and causing, harassment and yada yada, but they didn't call out anything specifically, so they're just like all white male gamers are evil is what the whole episode came out to be, and it was like, wow, thanks.
Nice. Yeah, that's
It was horrible and very reductive and complete pandering to people who have no idea what gaming is. And I mean, to be fair, there were a lot of issues caused when the whole Gamergate controversy went, and I won't get into that because
it's kind of worth talking about.
It's not worth talking about. It's dead. It's done. It doesn't have any real value anymore. And I mean, it's mainly interesting as a study case as to what happened, right? Like there it was a mess, and there was a lot of harassment propagated around that topic, and I will be the first to tell you, yeah, it was a problem. But to say it was just white guys is extremely reductive. There were a lot of people causing issues, and a lot of people being childish and immature. And from a psychological standpoint, it is a super fascinating subject. But to avoid the drama and whatnot that it brings, I'll just say, oh boy, I'm getting attacked. I'll just say it was a mess, and from the perspective of Law and Order SVU, they kind of turned it into something more than into something worse than it was. It was bad, but it wasn't an entire like 90%. I would say by and large, the gaming community as a whole condemned the harassment that occurred. And I would say it was just vocal minority causing the issues.
It's always the vocal minority.
It always is. And I mean, there are hundreds of millions of gamers in the U.S. alone. I mean, I would say that like a good third of the U.S. population play video games in some capacity and can be considered gamers. I know that sounds like a really high number, but I mean, think about it. I mean, how many millions and millions of copies does each game sell? They're not selling to the same people every freaking time.
Well, that,
right?
and
So,
you got to think about stuff like Pokemon. Like everybody's playing Pokemon right now.
yeah,
Even like grandpas and stuff like that. Like my wife works
Yep.
at a Pokestop, so she sees all sorts come through with their phones out, and it's crazy.
And collecting the Pokestops. So I think it's a little it's I don't like I know it's human nature to generalize and to paint things with a broad brush, but to paint gamers as a whole with a broad brush, you're painting hundreds of millions of people worldwide as a homogenous group. And for the most part, gaming is splintered into thousands, maybe even tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of communities that make up gaming as a whole. So you have like your community that rally around like World of Warcraft, you have your community that rallies around EverQuest, and yeah, there's some overlap, but for the most part, they kind of keep to themselves and do their own thing. So to paint a specific, like to paint all gamers as a specific group is so pointless and so overblown. Like I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but that's it's just silly, like in my view. And I'm really not trying to get into like a political discussion or a hot topic debate in terms of Gamergate, because I know it was a CF, and I feel like when it started, it had good intentions, but it flew off the rails when people got wind of, hey, we could use this to harass certain people.
Yeah, exactly. And the original intent was good, like for all intents and purposes. Yeah,
is a real problem, and it still is. But for every good thing that came out of the whole debacle, which there were a few good things, like if you look at like GameSpot and things like that, they actually post disclaimers when there's a potential conflict of interest at the end of their of their articles or at the beginning of their articles that may actually be construed as a negative thing.
Interesting.
And it's a good thing. I mean, that is a great thing that came out of it, because now journalists are holding themselves accountable rather than leaving it to the public to find out that they're taking money or being paid for certain reviews or things like that.
Yeah.
However, I mean, for every good thing, there were 50 bad things. So, and I mean, I'm not saying that everybody involved in the Gamergate movement were bad.
No, of course
because
not.
they weren't, because there were splinter groups that were pretty good, but the infiltration of negativity and hatred towards specific kinds of gamers was insane. It was huge. Like it just the infiltration like went off in a big way, and it was obvious, and it was blatant, and it was painful to watch, because I'll tell you, I mean, when it first started, I jumped on the bandwagon. I was like, yeah, let's stop game journalism, from being shit, because I've always said games journalism is a joke.
It is.
It's been that way since time immemorial. It wasn't as pronounced as it was today, because we have much better ways of noticing it or finding it and rooting it out. Like if you look at when was it IGN or GameSpot that they gave Call of Duty a 10 out of 10, and they were running ads for Call of Duty behind their review.
Yeah.
So it's like, that sort of stuff is like, that's a problem. That's a huge issue. But, when it started flying off the rails, I was like, whoa, no, guys, whoa, this is not cool.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? You're turning something that was a good thing into something awful and terrible. What is wrong with you? And it just spiraled, and it got worse. And to be honest, like the reason it is dead is because of that. And to be fair, anything that starts on 4chan is bound to turn into a terrible idea after a while.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Anonymous. I don't think that Anonymous does God's work or anything. They do some okay things, like taking down hate websites and things like that. But overall, they're just pushing their own agenda, and I'm not okay with that, especially done by brute force. So yeah, I'm not coming out in support of Gamergate. I mean, there was a time when I would have defended it back when it first started, and it was an issue. It wasn't an issue of gender or people's personal lives or any of that stuff. So it turned into that, and that was kind of where I drew my own line in the sand and said, all right, we're going too far here, and I kind of just disassociated with it and ended up kind of putting myself in the camp of, hey, games journalism is a problem. End of story. Full stop. I'm not going to say, hey, I'm a part of Group A or a part of Group B, because, in my opinion, all groups involved, because you had the group that was rallying against Gamergate, which was AGG, is what they called it, or AG. They called them aggros.
God.
Yeah, I know. It was a mess. I'm telling you right now. Like I kept an eye on it just because it was important to me to know what was going on with it, because it was a hot issue. I mean, it was a big deal with all the negativity surrounding it. So I followed it for a while. I didn't necessarily like side with any of it, but yeah, they the anti Gamergate folks were just as bad. With the doxing and the harassment and things like that. Like, they gave as bad as they got. And it just became this nasty spiral of negativity and awfulness, and it was terrible. It was a terrible thing.
Yeah, that's how the internet goes.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it was a mess. Overall, it was a big mess. So, I'm kind of glad it's dead. I don't know how dead it is to some people, but it has faded into obscurity, and that's for the better. Because they were bringing everybody down when it came to games, so
yeah, it was, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know. I just try to not have an opinion on that kind of stuff anymore, because all it does is create problems.
What do you mean? Thank you, honey. Oh, get over yourself.
But I had a valued opinion. You get over yourself.
Yeah, it was a valid opinion.
But yeah, so you're not talking to me. I understand that.
Yeah, I know, but my wife is keeping a half and half lemonade with strawberry drink from me, and it's killing me a little bit. Give me the drink. Give me. Thank you. All right, I got my drink.
That's the important part.
What's that, love?
No more shitty opinions.
You know what? You're a shitty opinion. Pew, pew, pew. All right, so I'm gonna head up because we're almost at an hour.
Yep.
And that was such a nice light topic to end the show on.
Oh yeah, seriously.
I know that's just it used to be such a hot button topic, and it's not necessarily one that I used to like to talk about, but now at this point it's kind of like a lesson in what not to do. So
that won't stop anybody.
No, it never does. But I'm one of those guys that I like to learn from the past, and I learn from the mistakes made by others. A lot of people are incapable of that, to be fair, but
that's not always easy.
I'm gonna learn from your face.
Building materials.
Wife is hurtling insults at me. He's heckling me from the other room.
Somebody's gotta
heckle the baby. All right, so I'm back up here.
Yeah, I'm downstairs. I was trying to find cows, but I don't know where to find them. So that'll be
the hunt. We'll go on a hunt for cows next week.
Excuse me. Yeah, we'll probably have to do that. Like, I have hay and I have all this other stuff, but I just don't know where they are.
Right. It's probably going to be a little bit of exploring. I found some pigs, but I didn't find any cows.
Yeah, I found a lot of pigs to kill.
But we will need a lot of leather, so.
Yep. So I already built a fence, so we already have a fence here for the cows. We just got to get the cows in there, and then...
Right.
Give me those eggs. Give me them eggs.
Give me them eggs.
Make babies! Nice. Okay.
Man, got a lot of little baby chickens.
Yeah, well, we gotta keep the factory going. Yeah, so I guess we can call it this time for now. You brought us in, so I guess you gotta bring us out. So go for it.
I'll go ahead and switch back to the splash screen here.
All right, I should do that too. Professionalism.
So, thank you guys very much for joining us for the Mandatory Social Interaction Show. I'm yawning right now, so thanks, Ben. You made me yawn.
Yeah,
Jerk.
Seriously, I'm sorry.
But thank you guys for joining us for this episode of the Mandatory Social Interaction Show. Had a lot of fun. I am Tim. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/insertcointheater, on YouTube at youtube.com/insertcointheater.com. That's insertcointheater, DOTCOM. You can also find me on Twitter at ICT_podcast and on Facebook at facebook.com/insertcointheater. And Mr. Ben Burns, why don't you tell us how we can locate you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Patreon at Ben_Burns. That's BURNES. I primarily do music stuff, but I've been branching into games. I have a lot of talks about creativity and other various things on my YouTube site. And yeah, I just make stuff.
Well, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to our respective channels if you enjoy this show, because we'll be putting out 2 every week. Unless things get crazy or we are unable to, but we're gonna try to space them out so we don't have too many overlaps. So if like we're gonna be out 1 week or whatever, we'll do 1 episode 1 week and then another episode the next or whatever if we have to, if there's like an emergency or sickness or whatever.
We'll figure it out.
So we will figure it out. So so keep an eye out on our channels. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all next episode, which should come out by all rights the next day, so Sunday. So we'll see you guys then. Have a good one.
Take care, guys.